Hey everyone, this is the next episode of the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. I'm here with my co-host Avery.
Hi Jay, what's up? Welcome
Nothing
back.
much. I'm doing good, and our guest, we welcome her back after last time, and so many requests to have her back again, Miss D.
Yay! Hey guys, what's up? Good to be
Welcome
here.
back, Miss D.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Does age matter? That's all. That's what we're discussing
That's a good
today.
question.
Does age matter, right? Because, you know, we know for the guys, you're a certain age, you're dating girls a certain age, right? It's so rare. It's so rare today, like someone to actually like match up right age with each other, be like 4 days apart.
Yeah.
It's just it's odd. You know, it's odd if it happens because like there's so many years of differences that people get in their resumes, right? So I think so Avery.
Yeah. The question is, is it worse for guys to be older? Are guys more picky when it comes to age? Do you think, Miss D? Because let's get your perspective on this a little bit. Because guys could go out with girls who are like 18, 19, 20, 21,
Right.
22, depending on what age they are.
Yeah, I was going to say it depends
they don't
how
like
old
to
they are.
go out with older girls, older than them at least.
Ooh, I was going to ask, do you guys do that?
The controversy
Do
in older
I do
and
that?
going out with the.
I've done that.
Really?
Yeah, I've gone
but
out
how
with,
much older though?
does like a month count?
Oh,
does not count.
That doesn't
Avon.
count.
That doesn't count at all.
I think
I've gone out with a year older.
I would say a
I've gone out
year
with a year
older
older.
because, like for me personally, I couldn't care less about age. I think there's some other factors in there,
Right.
Which I'll get to. But just jumping on your thought was, I think you have to say like definitely like 6 months to a year at least, like minimum.
Yeah.
That's what we're kind of talking about here, like a year to let's say 5 or 6 years older. Like that's
Right.
like the and it's not that common. It's
Mhm.
not.
It's
that
not
common.
at all. But for
Yeah.
girls, like, of course, we go out for like older guys. Personally, for me, like, I think because when I think of like, for me, I'm very into like goal oriented guy and like business minded, and someone who's very settled and you
Right.
know all that. And I think usually older guys have that. But again, you might have a younger guy who has that. So, but it really, I think it depends. It depends on. But I think guys have it easier with age.
Oh, for sure,
So,
for
yeah.
sure. Well, you know, like
Could be.
not to get anyone spooked up, but right, girls obviously like they start younger, right?
Sometimes
And they're looking to get married like as soon as possible. And
Right.
guys sometimes do have that cushion where they
Right.
can take a few years to
Yeah, that's not fair.
figure themselves
Yeah.
out. Yeshiva, college, whatever it is, that they always get that little push,
Right.
to start a little bit later.
Yeah, but some guys could be very mature at 21,
that's a big
22.
thing.
Some guys could be babies at 22, 23, 24. Heck, even 25, they could be a baby.
Yeah, but girls mature way quicker, right? Like they say the guy,
sure,
like
yeah.
a
A
guy
girl is
matures
in-
what age?
yeah.
Like 100.
A girl knows what she's going to do when she's 18 and her mother takes her out of seminary and is like, okay, you're going to become a nurse. You're going to become, a speech therapist. You're destined for that.
This is your destiny.
A guy is 22, 23. I don't know. He might be a plumber if he's,
Oh my gosh.
if he gets his act together, 22, 23, he might be a plumber. Then he gets into Bitcoin.
Hey, plumber's big,
Yeah.
big money, man.
Then he gets
My
into
plumber
Bitcoin.
charged
Then
me
he
a lot
gets
of
in, he gets into the
Right.
stock markets. And by the time he's
Yeah.
25, he has no career and he's sitting on his parents' couch. And he's still expecting a top girl.
Yeah, that's what I don't
That's
get.
That's
Honestly,
a weird thing.
yeah, it's
like,
very
what-
weird.
If you can't get yourself together by a certain age, why do you expect to get a girl who's put together? Who's
That's true.
even
Well,
younger than you?
look, I mean, and that's generally the nature of why guys are a little older and girls are a little younger than the guy, right? So there's an age gap where the guys are a little bit older. That's and everyone I think could agree with that and understand that factor. My throw in and my take, which I know I had discussed with you guys before, is that there's a difference between someone being mature and life experience.
Oh, right.
Okay, and what I mean by that is that you can be a very mature person. How many out there, all of you listening, and you two in here, and our whole production team, like, think about it. How many, 10-year-old tzaddikim out there, who are just like the most mature people. They're more mature than us put together.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right.
one out there. But there's no life experience.
There's a
right?
few kids
There's a
who are
little bit of a
about-
difference
yeah.
between someone who's like lived life, who's paying bills, who's in school, who has degrees, or who's working
Been
and
through
working on
things.
projects and leading a team,
Right.
making money, paying taxes, right? All these things kind of make someone age more and like push someone forward.
Yeah.
Let's say you have like. You're the oldest in a family, right? Right, which has happened to me many times, and that's probably one of my date stories I can share when we get to the date, our story segment.
Yeah.
But that's like that, there's a difference between someone being mature and someone who has life experience.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone out with girls who are older, and they are like babies. They they can't even have a conversation about like mature things. All they talk about is shopping, clothing, makeup, and hair.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And Instagram, like that's it. That's the only. That's their 5 food grains right there. That's it,
and they can't go beyond that.
Right.
That's why maturity is it's not age. It's like the things you've been through. So it's not always, age is not always a factor. But it is something. Yeah. It is something.
So you think people should start dating when they're younger then?
That's not? Okay. That's a question. When to start. Yeah. I think it really depends on the person. I think like some people feel comfortable starting young and like that works for them, or their parents want them to start really young, and other people are waiting to finish school to I think to feel emotionally ready. I think that's a big thing, especially for girls. Like we're very into emotions and feelings, and we're more in tuned. Into with emotions. Our feelings.
I checked that at the door.
Yeah, unfortunately. So I think you want to feel emotionally ready to start dating. I think it's so important. But either way, I think you have to know what is like right for you and to do that. There's like so much noise in the dating process that many times people are telling you different things and you don't know what to do. And I think it's important to listen to the people around you because they know you and hopefully they care about you. But also hopefully, but also listen to yourself, that voice. Telling you that gut, intuition. Listen to that,
and that voice will get stronger as you go through life and have those
and know yourself. That's a big thing. You have to know yourself. Like people don't know themselves, or they're scared to be by themselves because it's like you have to know who you are before you get married.
Right. Well, some people are like, okay, I see my friends are dating, so I'm going to start dating. Because they do it, so I have to
that's
do
how
it.
I
that's
did
the peer
it.
pressure.
No, you definitely want to jump in, but like don't do it if you're completely not ready.
Right.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah. Have confidence.
Yeah, and that could happen, like you're saying, this could happen like right out of the get-go when you come off the boat from yeshiva, you come off the boat from seminary, and like you just like overnight, you just grow 10 inches, you become a woman.
But that's so bad. You're in a bubble. You're such in a bubble. I remember leaving seminary. I was like, ooh, I want a kollel lifestyle and all that, which is great. But
I still dream that.
But it's not me now.
But some people, by the way, do have that.
No, for sure.
We have some listeners out there. We know we love you.
Which
we love
great.
You so much.
No, kudos to kollel lifestyle. But like, I grew and I knew that wasn't for me now. So you definitely have to grow. I think like you rush too much into something. It's like, it could be bad.
But then there are people who do get married very young. Like there are people
and
who
they get pushed by their parents. And it could be a good thing though. It could help them grow. It could mature them. Like, because they could be total babies and then all of a sudden they have to balance a checkbook. They've never done that before in their life. And like, okay,
I still don't know how to do the checkbook.
Right.
Well, you figure it out.
I'm pushing 55.
That's not a checkbook. That's your tissue box.
You know how much? Hey, I'm a millennial, and this is a tissue box. Yes, you're right. Okay.
Oh my gosh, no, it's not always a good thing to be forced. Because I feel like if you're forced into something, anything in life, you're not really into it. It's not authentic. It's not real. Like you're just like you're not gonna go for it.
I would say it's more of like a push on the swing set. Like you get them started,
that's fine.
and then they pick it up on their own, and they start doing their own phone calls for references, and they just need that little kickstart.
No, that 100% that you need, but like to be actually like forced into it. Like I don't care what you're saying. Like you're doing this, you're going on a date. Like that's a bit too much.
Well, we've all been forced on dates. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been forced. Oh my gosh, nightmare stories forced.
Those are
Oh,
those are tough.
I want to hear those. That's cool. Oh my god.
For another podcast, for another episode.
We'll
keep the audience waiting for that one.
Stories, horror stories of dating.
We'll publish that around Halloween. That's next year. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so I guess I can share that. I've dated actually older girls before. One girl I dated one girl one time. One girl was 5 years older. That actually went somewhere. That was very serious. Like almost like. She was definitely not.
That was my grandmother. What are you talking about? Oh, no.
Shh, don't tell anyone. Stop it. I'm trying to say a serious, sentimental.
I apologize to the serious listeners out there.
Your silly opine remarks.
I apologize.
Wait, it's okay. We'll get back to the story.
So I dated a girl who was a few years older, and we really tried, and I look back and I say like, wow, I was really a baby. I was very mature, but I didn't have any life experience. I really didn't know what it was like to fail at things. And I could look back a few years and just see, living on my own, things like that. Mm-hmm. But when I went out with her and it was definitely like a nice like age gap. You know, I think the target. I think the age is changing every few years. So I like to break it up by every 5 years. Every 5 years, you can date around your 5 years. But going more is not so conventional. But if it works for you, it works for you. But it's done, though. People do it. We do know, Avery and I know someone who was like 30, got married to someone who was like just 19. Wow. And like this guy was, he's very babied. And he was a sweet guy and very mature. But he had no life experience. Everything was kind of handed out by the parent. And we know him and we love him. He's a great guy. Hey, but thank God he found his bashert. This girl was... She
was like a mother to him, kind of. Like, not in that creepy way, but like in a...
Sounds creepy, though.
It does sound creepy. Yeah. Let's scratch that from the episode. But in a nice way. Like that she helped him, God, like she helped mature him.
That's what
like, she was just ahead of the game.
When they can grow together, but when they're so different ages, different stages in life...
Right.
That's very far.
So how do you go together?
You see that a lot. 25-year-old guys like a 19-year-old girl. That happens all the time. Like
I had a friend in high school that we were 17 at the time, and she got engaged at 17 to like a 25-year-old or something.
Oh wow!
And we were like, "Whoa!"
Don't say what high school.
Right? We're like, "Wow."
She could be. Her kids could be listening.
No, they're little. It's okay. They're not.
Pending lawsuits.
Hey, these kids today, these Gen Zs.
Yeah,
that was interesting. And
so that was like we were all like taken aback. We're like, "That's kind of."
She was probably Sephardic.
Whatever.
Don't use the S word.
The S word.
We're not labeling here.
We're not labeling. But in certain hashkafic or hashkafic sects or different circles or religious orientations, obviously it so varies. Like you could have Hasidim, Lubavitch.
Right.
It's normal to get married that young. Conservadox people get married like in their 20s or now late 20s, late 30s and 40s now. And the Machmir, like I think Orthodox people who are Orthodox who identify as Orthodox are modern Orthodox certainly are like it's getting to the later 20s now, but ultimately it's good to know what works for you for sure. Like you were saying before, D, like just to make sure like it works for you. Like you might be very silly and you might need someone younger. If you're older, you might need more mature, more serious.
Can you stereotype by like a certain age? Like this age group works 20 to 23. Like that's my age group of girls or guys like that, or can you cut off certain areas and say like okay that's past like 1997 for somebody who's born like I can't go out with them anymore.
I think it could be a little bit too complex.
Is that too much or just
it's a little
judge on the resume?
You never really know. The thing is, I wouldn't recommend that because there have been times throughout my shidduch life cycle where I've like messaged my 6-shot Hanuman and saying like, do not send me anyone who's like under 22 right now, okay? And then some random reason, like I got set up with a 22-year-old and I was like, oh, hey, I can see. And I was only 26,
See, that's great. You can always change your mind. People don't know that. You can change your mind. You don't always have to stick to the same thing. You've been,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I know. Yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true.
So that's
maybe I should get back to some shot hut who messaged me the other day. I was like, get out of get lost. Yeah. But, but more seriously, age, my opinion is age absolutely matters. And like you were saying, Avery, you do have to break it up into segments, If you're off the boat from Israel seminary, you're 18.
Boat.
Let's be real.
Use planes now.
You're off the boat.
Goes on a boat.
You're right off the. You're right off the boat from the old country. Okay. You're right off the boat from Eretz Yisrael. You took that gap year. You went to Israel. Came back. You're in seminary.
Good times.
You're getting off the boat. Like, I don't know if you generally. Let's try to stick to someone who's between 18, 20, 21, something like that. Mm-hmm. If you're a girl, if you're a guy, same thing. You're gonna want to stick to someone your age. You have a very limited pot, probably, when you're right at that age. But as you start getting older, it grows a little bit more.
My new rule is if she can't drink legally in this country, then she's not for me.
Oh, is it not in Israel?
Yeah, wow. 21 and up. I'm sorry. Come on, you have to get a drink or something like that. Not that she should drink, but if she could drink. The idea is to potentially could.
Can she?
Can she?
Well, yeah. Well, that's right. And that would be the next age category. Let's say 20 to 24. That's something good. And then you have your and then look, once kind of people get into their 30s, I think it's a whole different kind of game because you have a whole different strategy.
That's true. Yeah.
But you do want to convey to a shadchan hey, I'm let's say 25 and I grew up in this area and I'm looking for someone who is 21 to 25 or maybe 26.
Right.
So that would be great. don't worry. Like, guys, I'm telling you out there, I've dated girls who are a few months older, who are a year older.
Yep.
There's nothing that bad once you get to a certain age. I think if you're 20,
yeah, it depends what
and
age
a girl's
you are.
22, like, okay, it could be a little bit, a girl might be a little bit more
What if
settled.
the guy's 20 and the girl's 22?
Yeah. That may be
Yeah.
the girl's going to be a little bit more settled, right? So, like, that might not be
That's
a good
true.
matchup. But
That's still young, though, for a girl.
and like both of it's young.
I know, but
Right.
that's true. I hear that.
But when you're obviously conventionally yeah, like let's say on an anomaly, like when it's just so out of the box, like if you're like 25 and the girl's like 35, you could be on different planets.
See, that's
it could be a
little
very
bit
different
creepy.
planets.
Is it done? If the guy's 25 and the girl's 35?
Well, it definitely happens. I have friends who are interested in,
Yeah.
in
Really?
girls who are older.
Ooh.
Anashim are Anashim.
You can't say it's not
Nashim.
older.
Nashim. However,
Old.
I will say that
Nice.
I accidentally once got set up with a girl almost
Accidentally?
Accidentally.
What does that mean?
almost 9 years older than me. It was crazy.
Ooh.
The resume was so old.
That's
Oh
what
my
happened.
gosh.
It was so
How do you
old.
accidentally get set up
And the
with
person,
someone?
well, they said like,
Right.
I don't know, I went to this and this, and like, I was in school with
The resume was on parchment.
with your,
It wasn't even on like.
Right.
it was on parchment.
Like written
That's
out.
how-
No, so we're on the date, we're having a pretty nice, okay
Yeah.
time, and like, I was like mid-20s now, and like, she mentioned to me, oh yeah, like I know your cousin. We went to school together. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Like you were because I knew she was a little older. But like, oh, you were a freshman and he was.
Yeah.
Oh no, we were in the same grade.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, are you? Like, don't mind me asking.
Did you
I'm like,
say?
Did
you
you not-
asked her?
I'm like, I
What's
think
wrong
I
with
asked
you?
her. I'm like, I think I got an old resume. Like,
Oh
are
my
you-
gosh.
And she's like, yeah. And I'm like,
But
oh, okay,
she
cool,
knew
cool,
how
cool.
old you were?
I'm pushing.
She
I'm
didn't
pushing
care?
30 myself.
She
Yeah,
didn't
she
care how old
didn't-
you were.
I have no idea. I went to the bathroom. I set the timer.
That timer. Oh my gosh.
Set the
Yeah.
timer. Got out.
Man.
Yeah, but hey,
That's
so,
DOA.
That's-
Back,
Kind of,
bring that back
yeah.
to DOA over
that
there.
could be a DOA,
Yeah.
But there are differences like when you're 20 and when you're 30. There are differences in age.
Yeah, it's huge differences. No, it's a big difference because you're in different stages in your life. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm so for that, like being so like in two different. Like if you're 20 and like the guy is like over
Mhm.
30.
Is it worth giving it a shot? Like, let's say you're from the same neighborhood, and meaning like not literally but figuratively, like you're from the same neighborhood, things match up.
Right.
You might want it could make
It could be,
sense.
yeah.
I wouldn't be against it.
It's
but
breaking the
but-
barrier in the Jewish
Oh,
world.
for sure.
That's like the
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson going out with like a 30-year-old something and a 20-year-old and a 30. It's like that's Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, no,
territory.
you definitely have to look at the whole picture, but it could affect it.
It is a stretch.
Yeah,
It's definitely a stretch.
Mhm.
a little bit. Yeah.
And so look, ultimately, where I am with age mattering is you just go into the date having an understanding that age does matter, and it could be a good matter or a bad matter. Like it really could be like you have nothing to talk about with this person,
Right.
and it might not go anywhere because you're 30, you've experienced a lot of life,
Mhm.
and someone who's maybe close to 30 or ending on those 20s, or going out with someone who's a lot younger, generally meaning like this is your defined terms, which I'm like, just send me 25-year-olds and you're pushing 40.
Right.
That's
Like you
creepy.
have to think about it and
Yeah.
say, you're in a very different area in life. Like you're really an older single, you're an established person.
So
in
why do they
society.
want that?
That's
Why do
different.
why do guys want such young girls?
Ask Sigmund Freud.
No, but really, that's like
well,
That's a good question.
well,
yeah.
that's my
I mean,
my
there's
joke.
some-
Psychology of a man. Now we're getting into a
Psychology.
different.
Well, that's
different
the
story.
joke. Let's say someone is like late 30s, early 40s, and like asking for a 20-year-old
that's
girl.
creepy.
I've
Please
seen that.
don't.
I would say,
I've
look,
seen that. I know
and
a
my joking answer.
3-year-old who got married to a 21-year-old girl, 33-year-old guy.
Oh yeah,
34-year-old guy.
even that. Well,
Yeah.
my
That's
She was looking for a wealthy individual, and he was
wealthy.
money.
right,
Yeah.
right. So say
What's
Yeah,
the
worth
term?
Fine
That's
terms.
like Donald Trump and Melania.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like the 20-something-year-old,
the best shot.
20-something age gap difference over there.
The shotgunness
Yeah,
in
that's
that
a
match.
little-
Let me tell you.
That's shotgunness.
Oof.
It's weird. It's weird if the guy's
Yeah.
like 40 or something and asking
It's
for a
happened.
young.
It's happened. Well, I mentioned this in another episode, but worth repeating quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, like some big Ruv, like a girl I was setting up, you know, she told me, like, someone at a wedding called her out, you're going out with so-and-so, and, you know, so it was,
oh my gosh.
and the guy shows up, and, like, I mean, she must have been, like, 24 at the time, and this guy, like, he could have passed for 50s. With like a black gray beard.
No.
And she took him out, and she's like, "This is a test from Hashem." Okay, that's how she handled it. I'm not telling that everyone.
That's very mature.
I said, "What?" I would have shut the door and be like, "Get lost."
I wouldn't have done that. Wow. No, that's weird. That's weird for me.
Unconventional. But it does exist. It does exist. You know, it really does. And you know, ultimately that. So I think we kind of defined enough with the differences in age. But is there a recommended, like, you know, time to get married, and like when you're in age? Like, what do you think, Avery?
Is there a recommended time? Get married,
you know, not a life.
Before you get fat. That's all I have to say.
Oh, okay, so like 20.
That's so deep.
12,
that is very
21.
deep and mystical.
Wow, shame on you. Shame on you.
Before you're like over the hill.
It's called heavy set today.
Before you let yourself go.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Don't.
Yes. Well, that. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Life can get the best of people.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh my gosh. That's
anything
great,
else?
though.
Well, aside from that, what else is there? No?
Just be ready. I think just know, like, you know yourself best, so go with that.
So I had actually someone did reach out to us on the podcast, and there was I'm just gonna pull it up here, and I did want to bring it up as part of this episode, and you know who you are. We'll mention you. Don't worry. But it was such a good point. It was such a good point I think they made, and I like to try to answer it, and maybe you guys can share some insight. I know
Cool.
we did plan this and all, but I'm just gonna get this here.
Make sure she tells her friends to listen and send it out to everybody else.
Right.
But
Send the link.
Actually, I sent you the pic of it, right? I did, but let me get to this here. Okay, people's commenting.
I think I have it.
Yeah, okay, I got it. So basically, I did, talking about age, talking about how things do matter, like, as time goes on, right? Or before time advances. And this person kind of reached out to me and said, how about an episode where all the nice, caring, emotionally available, serious, but fun guys
are
hiding?
They?
Question mark. Where are they?
Exactly.
And how do we find them in a world where we are supposed to be, and how to find them in a world where we are supposed to be kept separate? Okay, separate.
Ooh, such a good question.
Yeah. Miss D?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, they
I
asked
agree with you, girl.
They asked you.
I'm asking the same question. Where are these, like, normal guys?
Well, maybe they're
not here.
They're not here.
They're not here.
We have a studio
I'll
audience. None of you guys. Oh.
No.
Let me think about this. Yeah. Want to go? Yeah, guys, take it away. I'm thinking.
I think
where have they
Crown
gone?
Heights? Are they in Crown Heights? Do you like the beards?
Crown Heights.
The vodka?
Well,
That's
Crown
another...
Heights.
Probably not.
Well, they might be in Crown Heights. They might be in Washington D.C. They might be in Nantucket, Massachusetts. Nantucket. That's where we're making trainers.
Oh my gosh.
I'd like to give a little insight to this. I think that ultimately, like, every guy starts out with like many, many good things. Like when they're starting to date, going to shidduchim, and shidduchim just gets the best of people. Like there's so much miscommunication. And let's be real, girls do not know how to talk to guys. Guys do not know how to talk to girls. We're kept in separate yeshivas and things like that. And
true.
The worst, obviously, with easily said, and I know all of you listeners out there can understand that, the worst is brought out in us in shidduchim, and like with Hashem's help, with bracha, where it could go right and we can get married. But so many of us who are in shidduchim, the thousands of dates taking place each week, it could get to us, and I think that has an effect on a lot of guys, like who are getting older and going on with age, and women as well. I think women kind of do a complete opposite of what guys do, where guys like kind of start, like this girl's saying, like they just kind of start like regressing and taking it slower and like just not really caring anymore.
Who, guys or girls?
The guys.
Oh.
And I think girls are a little opposite. Like they get the stuff together. Like they start pulling it together and getting strong and getting like much stronger, much able to handle it a lot better than guys. And I think that, could hopefully offer some insight to that, where, it's just a tough process, and we want someone who can find potential and some value in us. Right. And getting rejected like that, for a girl, girls just know what they got, and they have I think it's a different mindset. They're just going to come out stronger, and the guys it does slow. They just get slowed down by this
girl in particular. Maybe try like a different religion. I don't know. I'm not sure that there's many Jewish guys that fit that box.
Go to hell. That was a good line.
Maybe a nice Hindu guy or something.
In our closing last
really
moments.
deep thought.
Girls, it's hard. It's we're all in this, and it's hard. And all guys are weird. I think I just find the one that's worth.
Whoa!
That's actually a compliment.
The
for
one
us.
that's worth the investment.
Right?
No, but really, just it's hard. But I think just also coming to like the spiritual side of it, because we all talk about just all this dating and stuff. But I think also spiritually, believe really that God has someone for you. I think many times we lose sight of that. We're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this by myself, but you're not. Like, it's really just, I think, be grounded in that way. Just know that there's someone out there for you, and just, I think, also invest in yourself, invest in who you are, and like also take time to do that, and for girls especially, like to love yourself, to be yourself, and be proud of who you are and what you've done, and just know your time is coming.
Awesome. Well, thanks for delivering.
Thanks for
such
being on the show.
Yeah, thank you guys.
The new perspective.
Yeah. All right. So we've had fun. Hopefully you had. And this is the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast.
The LMNO Broadcast Network.